Modern and dilemmas. The wisdom of non-orthodox Buddhism to alleviate physical fatigue. Modern society imposes excessive demands on the human body and mind due to rapid technological change, increased competition, and social pressures. In particular, society is witnessing a surge in the term burnout, reflecting the severity of physical fatigue. This fatigue extends beyond work-related exhaustion, affecting everyday consumption, family life, social relationships, and even hobbies. The physical fatigue of modern NS leads to significant economic burdens, health issues, and psychological isolation, resulting in substantial losses for both individuals and society. When considering these issues, the wisdom of Buddhist scriptures can offer practical solutions for modern dilemmas. Specifically, Chongyang Rock and Muryang Munbrahmani Sutra philosophically reveal the root causes of physical fatigue and provide practical guidance for overcoming it. This essay analyzes the physical fatigue of modern NS systematically based on these two texts and proposes realistic and specific solutions. 1. Physical fatigue among modern NS, symptoms and causes. Physical fatigue among modern NS is not merely the result of physical labor. It is a complex issue arising from all aspects of life. The labor market is known worldwide for its intensity. According to statistics from the National Statistical Office in 2022, the average weekly working hours amount to 47.2 hours, ranking fourth among OECD countries. This directly correlates with the increased mortality rate from overwork, with 1,358 cases of occupational-related deaths reported in 2021. However, fatigue is not limited to the workplace alone. Excessive information exposure from consumer society, 24/7 use of online platforms, and maintaining social relationships contribute to fatigue accumulation in everyday activities. From a Buddhist perspective, the root causes of this fatigue lie in attachment and ignorance. Chongyang Rock identifies attachment as the fundamental source of human suffering and asserts that without overcoming it, physical fatigue is inevitable. For example, the scripture warns that attachment provides only temporary comfort, not true satisfaction. In modern contexts, individuals create their own fatigue through attachment to work, consumption, and social validation, demonstrating that physical fatigue is not merely physiological but reflects mental states. Additionally, Muryang Munbrahmani Sutra views ignorance as another cause of fatigue. The text explains that when people pursue impossible goals without recognizing their limitations, the body becomes overloaded. For instance, the scripture warns that ignorance is the root of excessive effort, promoting unnecessary struggles that wear down the body. Modern NS, caught in the conflict between societal expectations and personal desires, live in ignorance, leading to chronic fatigue. These observations indicate that physical fatigue among modern NS must be addressed not merely as a physical issue but philosophically and spiritually. The next section explores practical methods for overcoming attachment based on the wisdom of Chongyang Rock. 2. The wisdom of Chongyang Rock, physical freedom beyond attachment. Chongyang Rock, a classical text of the Chinese Zen tradition, combines philosophical insights with practical guidance. This scripture offers a solution to modern and physical fatigue through the liberation from attachment, emphasizing the practice of non-attachment. 1. The paradox of attachment and the practice of non-attachment. Chongyang Rock warns that while attachment may lead to short-term achievements, it ultimately traps individuals in fatigue and suffering. A passage from the text states, "One who clings to attachment appears rich, but is in fact poor. They squander their efforts in vain desires." This passage highlights how attachment provides temporary satisfaction but ultimately leads to physical and mental exhaustion. Modern NS amplify their fatigue by clinging to work, consumption, and social relationships. In response, Chongyang Rock advises pursuing the state of non-attachment. This is not mere indifference but an attitude of letting go of attachment and desire while fully embracing the present moment. The scripture illustrates this concept through a dialogue. Munsu Bodhisattva, how can one achieve the state of non-attachment? Zen Master, let the mind remain traceless. Observe rain as it falls like water flowing away. Do not dwell on past or future. This dialogue teaches that to relieve physical fatigue, one must not cling to past failures or future successes but live fully in the present moment. For example, office workers can practice non-attachment during tasks by not obsessing over performance metrics and performing daily duties with a non-attached mindset, reducing fatigue caused by attachment. 2. Balancing work and rest to alleviate physical fatigue. Chang Rock suggests reducing attachment by balancing work and rest. The text cautions, work is false, rest is true practice. This warns against excessive work obsession and emphasizes the importance of rest. A story from the text explains. A Zen practitioner, exhausted from focusing solely on meditation, complained of fatigue. His teacher advised, excessive attachment to meditation itself causes physical fatigue. Take breaks and listen to the sounds of nature. True non-attachment emerges when you do. This narrative warns that overwork and attachment can exacerbate fatigue. Applying this wisdom to modern NS, finding balance between work and rest is crucial. For instance, office workers can reduce fatigue by engaging in 30 minutes of nature walks daily. 3. Practical guidelines. 3 stages of liberation from attachment. Chang Rock outlines 3 practical stages for liberating attachment. First, recognize your desires. Many modern NS live without awareness of their attachments. The text advises recording daily desires in the morning. Second, recognize moments of attachment. Since attachment arises from momentary choices, identifying these moments allows control. The scripture instructs, pause in moments of attachment. This is the beginning of freedom. Third, accept attachment. Attempting to completely eliminate attachment may become another form of attachment, hence, one must accept it without being bound by it. These 3 stages can systematically reduce modern NS physical fatigue. For example, office workers can record attachments in the morning, practice pausing during work, and gradually reduce fatigue. 3. The wisdom of Muryangun Brahmani Sutra, overcoming physical fatigue through the liberation of ignorance. Muryangun Brahmani Sutra, which describes Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land, offers liberation from ignorance to address modern and physical fatigue. The text posits that physical fatigue stems from ignorance, not knowing the truth, and emphasizes the practice of faith and compassion to overcome it. 1. The paradox of excessive effort, the cycle of overexertion. Muryangun Brahmani Sutra warns that attempts to alleviate physical fatigue through excessive effort paradoxically intensify fatigue. The text states, one deeply rooted in ignorance believes that effort is meaningless, yet effort is the root of suffering. True liberation comes from freedom from effort. This highlights how modern NS attempts to reduce fatigue through overwork instead increase it. For example, office workers who work overtime to boost performance fall into a vicious cycle of fatigue. The text suggests overcoming ignorance through practicing faith and compassion. 2. Practicing faith and compassion for physical liberation. Muryangun Brahmani Sutra asserts that practicing faith and compassion can relieve physical fatigue. The text explains this concept through a dialogue. Bodhisattva, how can one practice faith? Amitabha Buddha, faith is compassion, compassion is liberation. When one holds faith, suffering becomes the seed of hope. This dialogue teaches that faith is compassion, and compassion liberates physical fatigue. For modern NS, this means overcoming fatigue by practicing faith and compassion instead of overexertion. For example, office workers can reduce suffering by embracing small achievements with compassion instead of obsessing over unmet performance metrics. 3. Practical guidelines. 3 stages of practicing faith and compassion. Muryangun Brahmani Sutra outlines 3 stages for practicing faith and compassion. First, accept yourself. Modern NS often demand excessive effort without accepting their limitations. The text advises recording daily limitations and practicing compassion toward them. Second, treat others with compassion. Compassion for others strengthens one's own compassion. The text states, "One who understands another's suffering will be free from suffering." Third, practice faith. Faith is not mere belief but an attitude of accepting past failures and nurturing hope for the future.